the correct guidelines on utilization of these vehicles. Some people are saying keep them until the next leaders come in May. Are you going to pay the demurrage fees for keeping and storing them? How shall we explain? Because we already know the vehicles are here. Now the question becomes, how do you give out a vehicle, a new vehicle, amidst elections, and you make sure that it is safeguarded? We hold them until May. Yes, you may want to discuss this. We shall take your guide, but the vehicles are here. So long as we know that, number one, for example, hello, can we be together again?
Listen and you will have time to discuss.
We have lost some chairpersons. The last one was my friend Max in Kamuli. And he was driving himself in the middle of the night. And quickly the question I was asked by police, by everybody, but sir, what is your policy? Where was the driver? I found the driver was there, but you know, he had taken the campaign materials on the bus early enough, and the chairman had. Now, when that happens, it is you, the accounting officer, to explain. And then I think 2-3 cases where these vehicles were involved in accidents when the chairperson was driving. I've also heard of a case of a chairperson who has removed the engine from the vehicle of government and put it in his own pickup. And then the question of maintenance, because we are on the road, I may not be able to tell, has it clocked the right mileage to go for service? Am I engaging the right gear when people are waiting to receive me somewhere? My PS is here. I've never driven a government vehicle since I became a minister. Never. You can park it in my compound, you can park it at the ministry, I can quarrel with the driver, but I don't have any appetite to pick the key. And yet I'm a good driver, I like driving. I'd rather drive my small chikumi instead of going for a government vehicle. It could actually apply to the cow and town clerk as well. I'm imagining you are going for a meeting with the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament. You are reading the documents, you are going through the files, and at the same time, you are there, trying to negotiate a corner and to bypass the other car, and then somebody is calling, and you realize the chairman of park, and you have to pick. You can't do that. So, for me, I think what is important is to agree on the correct guidelines of utilization of these vehicles. And if you don't have a driver for a chairman's vehicle, then you'll not give it to the chairman until you have the right driver. And these are not vehicles for people to start driving, to practice. We must, in the guidelines, put, you have been a driver for how long? With what record? Because it's been a little bit painful of chairpersons finishing an entire term of office without a vehicle. But it's there, you can discuss it and see what type of guidelines should we have to ensure that these vehicles, even if they were released today, they would be managed responsibly. Or should we rank the chairperson and say this chairperson, and this chairperson can manage it? I don't know. Another issue which I lay on table for a discussion is, well, it arises from a report we got from civil society on the functionality of local government public accounts committees. And I believe I also have been invited already to another one on functionality of the district service commissions. Now it seems we are facing the challenge of poor facilitation of these statutory bodies. Poor facilitation. Why? Do we have any standard? Do you know what we should be paying the chairman of the District Service Commission? Especially facilitation for field work. The Accountability Committee cannot do its work without visiting these projects. The other challenge we seem to be seeing is implementation of their recommendations. The recommendations must be implemented by two persons, the district chairperson and the chief administrative officer of town clerk. So it falls back to you. That even if it goes to council, council approves the report, you don't implement the recommendations. And then the challenge of follow-up, lack of follow-up. So if they say this money must be returned, why aren't you recovering it from the officers concerned? I've heard the proposal in that report that we should take back to the center the pay of the local government public accounts committees fully. That because they are supposed to audit you, to check the report of the Auditor General and the internal auditors and other reports, which are mainly on the accounting officer, how can they then come to you for facilitation? It's time of budgeting. If that is a view you share, you should take it to finance and see how to secure better pay for these statutory bodies. They're statutory. They're not dependent on the goodwill of the cow or the town clerk. It is the law. We should facilitate them. We also have other statutory obligations which I think we need to meet. Our tax compliance level in some of the local governments is not accepted. There is no way you can deduct pay as you earn, NSSF, from staff and don't remit it, colleagues. Withholding tax, funds you get from these companies, and then you don't remit it. And over time it grows. I think yesterday I saw a report of a municipality with tax obligation of up to 3 billion. And Commissioner General called me and said, what do we do with this? Do we go for the town clerk? Do we go for the entire council? Do we freeze all the accounts? I'm calling on you to make sure that you are up to date with your tax obligations. The other obligation is payment of councillors' allowances, especially the ex gratia and honoraria. We pay ex gratia to LC1, LC2. We call it ex gratia, ex casimo. It's a thank you. Traditionally, they were volunteers. You cannot say you're paying a salary of 10,000 per person. We've actually proposed to the president that we increase the pay of LC1 to 100,000 per month. Because how do you pay 10,000? And because we fail, we pay it annually, 120, it's as if it is big. Now, some of you are paying 70,000, 80,000. So little, a whole year, 120,000. And when it comes, then you pay 80,000. And they start complaining. And then we are called to Parliament to explain. We pay honoraria to these LC3 councillors. Honoraria, it is in honor of your service. It's a stipend, 35,000 per month. Imagine that little pay. Again, you hear complaints. Now, I think it was 2 years ago when we had to compile everything and we got a supplementary budget. Was it about 15 billion? And we thought we had cleared it. But it seems to be a disease which is there. Friends, this is an obligation we have to meet. The worst is when you get LOC5 councillors and they are not paid for 3-4 months. That's when we start getting letters. Please take away this cab. Please, we can no longer work with this town clerk. The other obligation which we have, which I want to interest you in paying, is for the local government associations. We work with them. Ulga you. I think there's also one for speakers, I don't know. But they help us. These are bodies which bring together their members and their voice with these councillors. It's a little money, 1 million, 3 million, and then you allow your council to be the one with big areas. Now I've been in their meetings and they exclude some of these chairpersons. Say, we have a meeting, but you stay outside. You see the member really embarrassed. Or the fellow could have become the chairperson, the president of the association, and they say, no, your local government is not paying. So I want to request you, make sure that we are up to date with our statutory obligations for tax, for payment of allowances, and subscriptions for associations. Of course, there is also for payment of salaries of our staff. Salary of staff. But it is not paid. And it is not a problem of Ministry of Finance. It is not a problem of public service. The system. I hope you can discuss this question. And Madam Jane is here, an expert on these personnel matters. What is wrong? Why do we have workers of government in one district, they are not paid, in another they are paid? Is it the human resource officer? Is it the accountant? Is it the accounting officer? One but last, we have agreed as government to have national cleanup days. The Minister of Health presented the paper in Cabinet and we agreed. And the Right Honourable Prime Minister will announce the days, a day per month, in the entire country, when everybody is supposed to clean their neighborhood. I think this is good for us as a local government. We may go into rationalizing this and discussing and arguing. We have equipment, protective gear, where are we disposing this and all that. But for me, that's not the same as government is saying we need a clean country. You are the town clerk in charge of your municipality. You have town clerks under you in charge of town councils. We need a clean environment. And when the time comes, we'll give you the days, and then we shall also produce the guidelines to follow these cleanup days. Finally, and not less important than the others, the current season in which we have entered, and I'm here to congratulate His Excellency the President for being nominated as the flag bearer for the presidency in behalf of NRM in the next elections. Welcome the other leaders also who have been nominated. It's always good to win a race when you are winning not alone but with others. Imagine if they put a competition and you are competing alone. No, you say you have won or lost. So they are welcome, but I don't have a doubt that the President will make it again. But also to remind you, friends, we operate in a political environment. Much as we say civil servants should be non-partisan. Non-partisan does not mean non-political. Because you must vote. By the time you wake up and you say, I'm going to cast my vote for this, it means you are making a political choice. And in some countries, when the new government is sworn in, they sweep the entire service and they put in the new one. Because they are there to implement the manifesto of the ruling government. the amendment of the Local Government Act, one proposal which I've seen, and I don't say that it's already passed, it's still before cabinet, is that we allow the chairpersons of the ruling party at all levels to be ex-officio members of the council. Why? Because we need the party manifesto to be monitored by party functionaries. If you tell me that you don't care what is going on, who will win or who will lose, I don't know. I don't know what you mean. We are serving under a government with a 5-year manifesto for roads, for health, for education, for wealth creation, for stability and peace, and that is what you have to deliver. So I want to appeal to you, and as the President goes out on his campaign journey, you prepare a good brief on what we have achieved in the 5 years in your area. The Prime Minister has been doing it. I was with her in Mbiji and other areas, and she calls the head of service, which is you. And then you see some cow say that, Madam, that's for the lands officer. The question is, why is there land grabbing in this district? And what have you done about it? You cannot say it is the lands officer. You are the head of service. Your personnel officer may not be there. The water officer may not be there. I wouldn't see a situation where the head of state is in my district. I am the head of service of that district, in charge of roads, education, water, and I cannot tell him, give him a brief through the RDC. Your Excellency, in the 5 years, we've received 3 times 1 billion, 3 billion for roads. We've been able to repair and maintain so many kilometers of road. We received 2 billion for water. We have constructed 20 boreholes. We have done fiscal planning for these towns. Now at that time, I'm simply saying you are giving a report for services you have been supervising. I'm not saying you are going to the campaign rally, you say, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm simply saying, please, all the funds and resources for service delivery, for implementation of the NRM manifesto are under you. Why should it be the minister now to explain? Not me. They have never signed any check. The other day he asked in the cabinet, so what has the 1 billion for roads done? Katumba Wamala threw the ball back to me. I also threw it to him. I said, Your Excellency, that is roads. The Minister of Roads is there. The Minister of Works said, that is in local government. The Minister is there. So, because I was not equipped with the data, and that means we must even improve our reporting system between you and ourselves. Not only the Minister of Local Government, but even the other sector ministries. There must be regular reporting between the CAB and the Minister of Health, between the CAB and the Minister of Education, between the Town Clerk and the Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. That must be our practice. So, I want to appeal to you. Manage the staff under you in this very difficult terrain called the political season, so that they don't make unnecessary blunders, and also so that they are not doubted. I already have seen a number of mayors saying, please take away the town clerk. He's going to be a problem for me in this campaign. But where does the town clerk become a problem in campaign? Does he go to the campaign podium? No. But maybe the mayor is doubting you. Saying, this one seems to be supporting my opponent. Why do you do that, friend? Politics is a funny game. You don't know whom it will bring. I'm a beneficiary of that process because I stood against the Minister of Local Government. The then Minister of Local Government is the one I said I'm challenging. I didn't want to challenge him for Minister of Local Government. I was going to Parliament. But imagine if you were in between now, and now I'm the Minister of Local Government. I would be looking at you, look at this cow. It was a problem to me. So, there are just 2 points on that. One, stay clear. Know your lane. Play it properly. Also, 2, don't allow the president whom you serve today, the one who has improved your pay, the one who has said, oh, you want vehicles, let me give them. Don't allow him to go just like you are not there. That would not be good. Why? Because I've explained to you, this sector has more than 1.5 million workers. There is no other ministry with that kind of structure. And the president is like you and me, he's a human being. When results come, he looks through the list. Guru, how did I perform? Omoro, how did I perform? Kabari, what happened there? Chisoro, how did I perform? Oh, Chisoro, I was 98%. Who was the town clerk there? This is talking about a human being. And then you look at this. The other district, I got 22%. Really? Didn't you provide money for water? Was there a problem with the drugs? What's the factor that led the people not to give me the vote? And that factor will relate to service delivery. It's not about his age. No, Mzee is still strong. You see, he's the only candidate who is running. He's the running candidate. He runs. So it cannot be the age or the whatever he has performed, the NRM has delivered, but stay clear while making sure that wherever he goes, you have the right brief on the performance of the government in terms of fulfillment of the manifesto. I want to welcome the Deputy Head of Service. I want to welcome the other leaders from the different MDAs who will be speaking to you. I want to thank Mr. PS for organizing this quarterly engagement with our senior technical officials consistently on a quarterly basis. I commend you for your dedication. I commend you for services delivered. I commend you for making sure that Uganda moves quickly under our stewardship to a middle-income country. When we came in 2019, it was one of the poor countries. We have already climbed that level to middle-income country. And that is because of your work. Thank you so much. God bless you. I wish you a good engagement. I would have stayed with you, but I have a meeting with the Prime Minister at 10:15, 10:20. So I have to go straight for PM for that meeting. Thank you. I wish you well. God bless you.
Thank you very much. You can see if you had more time. This was keynote address, and it navigated across the spectrum of various thematic important areas of our operations. So, because can you give me another round of applause? Thank you. Thank you. I don't think really you need to ask questions. And if you want to ask questions, we are there. You shall ask us. And if you can't answer, we'll take it to you. But because of the importance of the meeting, I want us to take a good photo with our minister, and I want to request you to think through the course of the day, the various areas, and if you have any challenges of what was going on. communicated to you, which is the whole gist of the reason why we meet together. We shall be here to receive it and we are going to reach you if the matter is a political or super policy. So thank you very much, Honorable Minister. You can see the privilege we have to have a teacher and a leader, to have an intellectual vision who has taken us through the barriers. So let's take a group photo and then we can allow accept the minister's submission that he has to go and attend the meeting with the right honorable. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister.
Alors, où tourne notre gros?
Department dawa RDA Western Uganda oguno mwebembezi wanyu kandi ni kansara ni ombyo bwebembezi side yindi omubyebezi hona riyo ngumudini ariyo na omurujungu na manya politics zihangana yariyo ni kansara weminyeto omurimbarara konkari yahona bariyo wa Western Uganda obyedini ebyo byangohe kushiko mu iguru mwenu noreba narahuka kutemba madara tibyangohe nkebe byambarara. So oguni ibuni sururu ni bamweta Muhammad Sheikh Ali Muhammadi amazina gona gine aga Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam izina lya yine yorimwe niriya Ali ni khalifa washembere yo muri ba khalifa abo Buislamu abana abamani oguni we Muhammad Ali Sururu ni Sheikh no muntu oshomire eby'Ubusilamu kandi omukugu kandi akashomana side yindi erizo